Hello everyone, my name is Andre Pranata Pranyanangin, and today I want to present metallurgy, chapter 6 about fabrication and finishing of metal products. This is the books that we use for our reference. Metallurgy for the Non-Metallurgist, second edition, edited by Arthur Sirardon. Introduction. Metal products that are subject to mechanical reduction operation subsequent to casting and solidification are referred to as raw products. These products can be shaped, finished, and assembled by using a variety of metalworking techniques, which may include methods for forming, material removal, and joining. Depending on the alloy system and the intent application for the finished product, there are staged during number of production techniques that may be employed. This chapter describes in limited detail these metalworking technologies: bulk forming of metals in the production of raw or work products, sheet forming and bending of metals, powder processing to consolidate and densify powders into net-shaped parts, material removal process such as drilling, milling, cutting and grinding, and joining process such as welding, soldering, and brazing. 6.1 Deformation process. In metalworking process, a workpiece such as billet or a blanket sheet, for example, can be plastically deformed by a set of tools to obtain the desired final thickness and geometrical configuration. Metal forming process can be classified into two general categories: bulk or massive forming operation, bending and sheet forming operation. Metal forming equipment. Metal forming equipment is done with a large variety of machines or equipment such as rolling mills for plate, strip and shapes, machines for profile rolling from strip, ring rolling machines, thread rolling and surface rolling machines, magnetic and explosive forming machines, draw bands for tube and rod wire and rod drawing machines, and machines for pressing type operation. Hot and cold working. Metals can be mechanically worked over a range of temperature. Higher temperature can improve workability characteristics, although many raw products are cold worked in order to achieve certain mechanical properties, or sometimes there are warm work for other specific purpose. One advantage of cold working is strengthening mechanical that we can see in chapter 3, mechanical properties and strengthening mechanism. At slightly higher temperature or warm working, the degree of strain hardening is reduced, so the flow stress is reduced at higher strains. 6.2 Primary production mills. In primary production operations, the initial stage of metalworking involves the breakdown of cast structure into a raw or work form. The starting material is usually either an ingot from static or continuous cast slabs or billet. Ingot breakdown. Many ingots continue to be statically cast because not all ferrous and non-ferrous metals are capable of being continuously cast. Due to their relatively coarse and inherently weak microstructure, The temperature range over which ingot structure can be forged is very limited. Typically, ingots must be hot worked to refine the grain structure in order to allow recrystallizations to occur. Rolling mills. Rolling can be performed in a production mill at a various stage. The equipment used in the first stage of breaking down an ingot is called a primary rolling mill, which is often massive in both size and investment. Smaller secondary rolling mills are used if further reduction is necessary. Continuous cast ingots may be fed directly into secondary mills. Cold rolling of sheet and strip. Thin sheet and strip with high quality surface finish can be produced by cold rolling. Production begins with strip from the hot rolling mill. Before cold rolling, the metal usually must be acid pickled to remove surface oxide or scale produced during the hot rolling. In pickling, scale is removed by chemical or electrochemical means. 6.3 Forging. In its basic form, forging consists of applying compressive stress to a piece of metal, known as the workpiece, between a pair of discs in order to permanently change in physical dimension or geometry. Large forgings are processed by primary mills, but forgers also purchase raw products in the forms of bars, billets, and blooms for subsequent forging on hammers and presses. The goal of most forging operations is to produce a part as close to the finished shape as possible. Forged products include crankshaft for car engines, adjustable wrenches, hammers, rotors for steam turbines, and landing gear components for aircraft. Various types of forging process are listed in this table. There are open die forging, closed die forging, coining, hobbing, incremental forging, isothermal forging, radial forging, rotary or orbital forging, precision forging, rotary swagging, and offsetting. 6.4 Drawing and extrusion. Drawing and extrusions are based respectively on the pulling and pushing of section through gears. In the drawing process, the cross-sectional area and shape of a rod, bar, tube, or wire is reduced by pulling it through a die. The deformation is accomplished by the combination of tensile and compressive stresses that are created by the pulling force at the exit from the die and by the die configuration. Drawing. Drawing is one of the oldest metal forming operations to make long products with excellent surface finish, closely controlled dimensions, and constant cross actions. Wire and tubes are drawn in a similar manner. The general practice is to place a mandrel, also called a plug, or a solid bar with a blunt end inside the tube. As the tube is drawn, metal flows past the mandrel, which controls the inside diameter of the tube and supports it during deformations. Extrusions. Extrusions is a deformation process used to produce long, straight, semi-finished metal products such as a bar, solid and hollow sections, tubes, wire, and strips. The favorable compressive state of stress during extrusions allows a high capacity for deformations, and so it's possible to extrude metals that can be only slightly deformed by other methods. Hot extrusion technology. Pre-rolled billets or round ingots can be worked in an extrusion press, which is an open-end die. A ram moves the metal through the die, which determines the shape of the extrude shape. For hot extrusions working, the billet temperature is typically greater than that temperature is typically greater than to sustain strain hardening during deformations. This is generally greater than 60% of the absolute melting temperature of the metal. The hot extrusion process is used to produce metal products of constant cross sections, such as bars, solid and hollow section, tubes, wire, and strips from the material that cannot be formed by cold extrusion. Cold extrusion. In this process, metal is squeezed or screwed through a hole in a die. Low melting point and relatively ductile metals such as aluminum, tin, and lead as easily extrude. The most commonly cold extrude metals are, in order of increasing processing difficulty, aluminum and aluminum alloys, copper alloys, low and medium carbon steel, modified carbon steels, low alloy steels, and stainless steel. 6.5 Forming. Metal bar, tube, and sheet are formed by various bending, stretching, and drawing operations. Bar and tube are formed mainly by bending operations such as compressions, bending, stretch bending, draw bending, and roll bending. Sheet forming includes various bending, stretching, and drawing operations, plus some special methods to develop surface with deep recrease, spinning, deep drawing, or shallow recrease, dimpling, juggling, and explosive forming. Bending of bar and tube. The four basic methods of bending bar and tube stock are compression bending, draw bending, stretch bending, and roll bending. Bending may be done manually or with the aid of machine power, depending on the section's thickness, the ductility of the stock, and method employed. For example, compression bending and draw bending of tube is commonly done manually. Sheet forming. The various types of sheet forming operation include shearing to slit narrower strips, separate parts, or cut off parting, and cut out a part or blanking, or create a hole or punching. Bending of blanks in press brakes or force slide machines, or by roll formings for mass produce of corrugated sheet, architectural sections, and loop seam and weld tubes. Stretch forming of blanks by firmly clamping much or all of the circumference and shaping by the penetration of a punch. Embossing is a highly localized from a stretch forming. Deep drawing of parts with recessed contours by forcing sheet metals between dies, usually without substantial thinning of the sheet. In contrast to stretch forming, the shape is developed drawing material into the die while average thickness is approximately preserved. 6.6 Powder metallurgy. Powder metallurgy is a growing branch of metallurgy based on the production of material in the form of metal powders and the manufacturing of parts from these materials. However, metal powders also are produced for other applications. For example, approximately 10% of iron powders are used for production welding electrodes. Non-ferrous powders are also used in diverse applications. For example, copper powders are used as pigment for marine paints and as additives for metallic flake paints. Aluminum powder is used extensively for explosive and pyrotechnics. Powder of metals and alloys also are fabricated into parts for several reasons. Most important parts of complex shapes, close tolerance, control density, and control properties can be produced by powder metallurgy methods. 6.7 Material removal process. Material removal process, of which machining is a special class, are secondary manufacturing operations used to achieve precise tolerance and controlled surface finish. These are three basic classes of material removal operations. Conventional machine operations like turning, drilling, milling, boring, planing, shaping, reaming, and tapping, where material is removed from the workpiece in the form of a chip. Abrasive process such as grinding and honing, where small particles are removed from the workpiece by abrasions with a hard tools. Abrasive process have lower material removal rates and higher energy requirements than conventional machines process, but can produce closer tolerance and finer surface finish. Non-traditional machine process, which include electrical discharge machine or EDM, electrochemical machine or ECM, and ultrasonic machine or USM. 6.8 Joining process. Joining involves the use of mechanical, chemical, or physical force that keep two parts together. Mechanical methods are based on various types of mechanical fasteners, while adhesive bonding uses chemical bonding, perhaps with some physical or mechanical factors. Physical methods of joining include welding, brazing, and soldering. The focus here, by necessity, is only a brief overview on the wide range technologies of welding, brazing, and soldering. 6.8.1 Welding. Welding is an ancient technology dating back to the early as 2000 before century, with the practice of forge welding where metals are heat and pounded to cause permanent deformation and bonding. Forge welding is still performed, but many other more advanced welding techniques are currently available. The two basic categories of modern-day welding methods are fusion welding, where the workpiece metals are melted in the joint region and allowed to resolidify to form a metallurgical bond. Solid-state welding, like forge welding, where some heating without melting and mechanical force allow the formation of a physical bond the two metals. Arc welding. In arc welding, melting in the weld is accomplished by the application of intense heat from an electric arc. The arc is formed with a current-carrying rod, and as in the case of manual stick welding. However, there are a number of important variations. For example, an electrode rod made of carbon or tungsten rod has the sole purpose of carrying current to sustain the electric arc between its tip and the workpiece. Resistant welding, invented in 1886 by Professor L. Hugh Thomson, is one of the simple and most commonplace fusion welding process. The resistant welding process involves the generation of heat from the flow of electrical current through the parts being joined. Resistance welding is performed using a variety of methods such as spot welding, seam welding, and projection welding. Solid-state welding. Not all welding is done by fusion and solidification fusion of the metals being joined. Atomic bond can also be formed by solid-state or non-fusion welding, such that spraying a surface coolants and bond at temperature below the melting point. The bonding process is based either on deformation or in diffusion and limited deformations, so that atomic movement or diffusion create new bonds between atoms of two surfaces. 6.8.2 Brazing and soldering. Like welding, both brazing and soldering also form primary bonds in metallic bonds, like welding process. Soldering and brazing also rely on interdiffusion between joint materials to form the soundest joints. Unlike fusion welding, however, neither brazing nor soldering requires nor cause any melting of the base materials. Rather, bond formations occur between a molten filler and the solid substrate. Brazing fillers melt above 450 Celsius or 840 Fahrenheit, while solders melt below 450 Celsius or 840 Fahrenheit. These temperatures are arbitrary, but are generally accepted as the defining temperature differences between soldering and brazing. Brazing involves joining solid metals in close proximity by introducing a liquid metals that melts above 450 Celsius or 840 Fahrenheit. A sound brass joint generally results when an appropriate filler alloy is selected. The parent metal surface are clean and remain clean during heating to the flow temperature of the brazing alloy. And a suitable joint design that allows capillary action is used. Strong, uniform, leak-proof joint can be made rapidly, inexpensively, and even simultaneously. Joints that are inaccessible and parts that may not be joined at all by other methods often can be joined by brazing. Soldering. Soldering like brazing, the substrate materials remaining solid during soldering, and the melt solder distributes itself between the properly fit surface of the joint by capillary actions. The solders react with the base metal surface and wets the metal by intermetallic. Upon solidifications, the joint is held together by the same attraction between adjacent atoms that hold a piece of solid metal together. When the joint is completely solidified, diffusion between the base metal and solder joint continues until the complete part is cooled to room temperature. That's all from me to presenting about metallurgy chapter 6, fabrication and finishing of metal products. Thank you.